This is the first attempt at making a holster that I ever did. And a shoulder holster, it came out alright. This used to be my crossdraw holster. You can see where the stitches were removed to take the belt loop off. I made a second one and put the belt loop on it, and then about a year back I misplaced it and lost it. So now we need to make a new one. I'm going to show you how. Alright folks, you're going to need around $30 worth of materials from Hobby Lobby. Get about $6 for your bag of leather here, $3 for your lace, about another $6 for your needle, $3 to $6 or so for your punches, razor knife, your buttons, plus the button punch and plate. You're going to need dye sponges, dye, and leather cement. We're only going to use about $4 worth of materials out of all of this. Alright, a few various other tools you're going to need. You'll need a hammer. Any kind of clamps that you can get your hands on, you're going to need clamps to stretch your leather with. And then either a store-bought mold of your pistol or build one yourself with some stretching blocks. As you can see, you don't need a perfect mold. Mine's much bigger and different shape than what I'm making. I'm just looking for the basic lines to get a start on stretching the leather. I love the smell of fresh leather. Now a lot of this we're not going to be able to use. Can't use it. I can use these for other things. Maybe. This one might be about the closest I'm going to find. It's iffy. It's really, really close. I'll have to back it with heavier stuff later. Scissors work too, I guess, if you got them around. I'm going to go get my utility knife. Remember folks, this is the poor man's way. Nobody showed me how to do it. I just said, I need a holster, I'm going to make one. Whatever you're making it for, it helps to have it handy. As you can see, she's empty. What I want to make sure is that I'm covering it everywhere. I want to cover it. That's exactly what I'm going to go with right there, because I'm going to have my sights exposed. But we'll cut this back even further on the new one, improve it some. Another reason I rebuilt, right behind here is my clip release, and I've actually had this leather push once or twice and release that clip release. Simple folks, wet the leather, soak it. It's going to take a minute, but it'll start absorbing that water. You see it? Most importantly, we want the inside wet. Just keep soaking it folks, get it good and wet, good and pliable, and then squeeze it out. Alright folks, we're going to stretch this a couple different times. Once is not going to be enough. Now so I don't tear into my leather, I've rounded these corners where it's going to go to the inside. You may have to adjust this a couple times because you want that set. I'm just squeezing this by hand right now. Just working it and squeezing it. Got a little rounded edge on it so it doesn't dig in too bad. Said folks, use whatever clamps you got available. As long as it holds, that's all you're worried about. Just like that, I'm going to put it out in the sunshine and go let it dry for a bit. Mostly dry on the outside now. See what I did? That's the front too. Forgot about the edge of the wood. Oh well. See, it's still wet underneath. I got it a bit off sides. Did my first one as well. getting there. What that's done is give us some extra leather in there to stiffen our holster up. Gonna have to stretch this with a gun, guys. You don't have to, but I'm not worried about my Glock, so I'm gonna go dampen this one more time. Just the outer pieces, the inside pieces will get moisture. You see they're kind of stuck right now. Just gonna go dampen the outside real quick. Alright folks, I ran this under the water, inside and out, to make sure it got good and wet again. About 3/4 of what it was before. Because my sights, I'm going to omit the top piece. Close this up with the Glock in there. Kind of feel around to where it's going to go. I want to try to get that leather to wrap, so I'm going to stop it right there. Check strap lengths, which I'll be able to work that. It's no problem. Get them wedged right down in there, folks. I want to wrap that barrel, make sure they're fairly straight, and clamp it towards the top. So the trick I do is try to tighten this up some. Yeah, it's super tight right now. So I do the same thing down in here. I'm rushing this. I'm trying to do this in 1 day, 2 days tops. It's going to have to dry really good. Yeah, that's pretty tight. You see the bulge that the sight's making in there. Usually I'll wet it 2, 3, 4 times, but this time I'm going to do it twice. I think it'll come out just as good. It's my third run on a case. This exact same style, same gun. Next video will be the gluing, cutting, and sewing to finish this. Alright folks, I'm going to stick this out to dry one last time. Like I said, I'm kind of rushing it.